Hello and welcome ProITians. So I hope you guys are enjoying working on Azure, right? And you're learning few things on Azure, right? Great. So in the last session we had the pictorial overview of how the load balancer is, how it is working, and what is the difference between internal and the public facing load balancer, right? Right. So we actually went through all those last time, and in this session what we are going to do is we are going to configure the load balancer on Azure. All right. So we're going to look at what are the things that are available in the configuration, and at some places we are going to cross check or go back to the slide and see what are the things about the internal and external load balancers. And also we are going to look at what are the various terms that we are going to utilize for the load balancers, like health pro. Now health pro is something which I'm going to talk in details, but you can treat this as like your heartbeat for the servers which are in the backend. So in case if the servers are up, it will mark that service up, and it will send the traffic to that server. In case if the server is not up, that means it's not able to get the response back from the server, then it will mark that server as down, and then it is not going to send that traffic, that internet traffic to those servers, right? So we're going to look all those things in this session, and going forward we are going to touch base on a lot of other things about the load balancers. All right. Before moving on, please do subscribe on this channel, and click on the bell icon to get the updates as and when the videos are getting uploaded. Also do click on the like button to get if you're enjoying those videos, and if you're like wanting to see some more videos like this, please do click on the like button. Right. Thank you, and I'll see you in the session. Thank you. Welcome back to ProITians. So now let's start and configure our load balancer. So I'm on the portal, Azure portal.azure.com. So I'll check with my ID. I'll log in with my ID 369proit@gmail.com. All right, and then very soon I'll get the home page with the list of the resources. So I'll just give it a moment. Okay, I'm here, and here is our home page where I get all the list of the resources that are running, and then I get a notification about the amount of money that is still remaining in my wallet. Right. Alright, I'll close this, and then now for load balancer, first I'll have to create a load balancer, right? So I'll create a resource. Alright. Then it will provide me with a list of resources that are available, right? So we have seen this section earlier also, right? So I mean, these are the list of the popular services that are available. Then what I can do is I can actually find for a load balancer. All right, great. So I click on create. All right, so it's going to use the free trial, and the resource group will configure the load balancer on the same resource group which we are using for our other web servers. So I'll configure it in ProIT RG1. All right, and then I'll give the name as load balance. Okay, balancer 01. All right. Right, there should not be any space in that, so I'll remove the space, and then I'll leave the location as default because this is where my RG is configured on. So I'll keep it as US region East US. All right, and then type will be public or internal. So we have studied about this, or we have checked about this, the difference between the two in the earlier session, right? So we know what is the difference between internal and public, right? So for now, this one I'll configure for public, so I'll keep it as public. All right. SKU, I'll keep it as basic. Yeah, that is the license part. All right. So public IP, I'll create new, and then I'll give the public IP name as LP underscore ProIT underscore public IP, right? And then assignment, I'll keep it as dynamic, or there are two options, dynamic or static. So the option is like, do we want to use the dynamic range of the IP address from Azure, or do you want to have the static IP? So this is something which we have not yet covered, but yeah, I mean, on a high level overview, static IP is the one which actually you get a very limited range from Microsoft, and you should not, you should be only using for a certain purpose, like for the internet facing ones, yes, and some other case scenarios which we are going to look in detail. But for the lab environment and for the simplicity, I'll keep it as dynamic. All right. Add a public IPv6 address, that is not required. All right. So we are fine with IPv4. We are not looking for IPv6, right? I'll click on next, and then I'll configure the name. Tags is load balancer 01. There's a typo, all right? And then tag will be tag, and name will be project work. Okay, yeah, correct. And now let's click on next, review plus create. So it will give the list of the changes that it is going to make. Yeah, we can review it, and all look good to me. So I'm fine, and I can click on create. All right. So as soon as I clicked on create, the process is started, and initiation was started. Now, as you can see, deployment is in progress, and now you get the option to, it provides you the output that what it is trying to deploy. All right. So, so deployment is underway and it's complete. Right. So it took just maybe 10 seconds to complete. All right. Great. Now let's go back home, and let's go to the, or we can click on here and we can go to resources. Yeah. So I'll click on refresh, and then I can click on go to resources. All right. Now there are a few things that we need to do, which we'll do in this session. One is about the backend pools. Okay. Let's have a look on this configuration. Yeah. So as you can see, this is quite basic, nothing much out here, right? Configure high availability, scalability, all normal, yeah, and all this is quite normal. So let's check on this one, front end IP configuration. Yeah, load balancer front end, because this is going to be your internet facing, so you would need the public IPs on that. Looks quite okay. And then I'll click on backend pools. All right. So as you can see, there's nothing which is created as of now. For what I have to do is I have to click on add and create a backend pool. All right. So let me give a backend pool name. So web. Okay, should not be any space. Web back end. All right, I've given web back end. Okay, and then virtual network I'll give as the VNet, which is we have already created for the resource group ProIT RG1. All right, we want to have it in the same VNet, and then associated to. As of now, there's nothing. We will not do anything much here. We'll leave it as it is. We can anytime go ahead and make the changes, but as of now, let's keep it as unassociated, and then click on add. All right. So submitting deployment in progress. Okay. In the meantime, let's go back. Okay, so as you can see, the deployment is done and it's complete. Great. Now let's click on health probes. So what are health probes? So health probes are something which actually it does a diagnosis. It does sort of an health check for all the backend servers in the pool. Okay, so to discuss about the health probes, let me actually take you back to the slide which we had done in the last session. I'll go to that same slide. So as you might have seen that we have this laptop which we are using for connecting, and then it connects via internet, and then it actually hits to the load balancer, and from there it actually goes to the web server, right? Now it could happen that one of the web server is gone down for whatever reason. Either it could be a manual like for maintenance activity or for patching, or it could be something which is like because of some outage, right? So how would a load balancer know if that particular node is working or not? It should not happen that the traffic which is coming over the internet, the traffic gets diverted to the faulty web server, right? It should only be directing to the server which is healthy. So how it is going to check on that? So that's a mechanism which Azure use, and that's what we're configuring now. That's called as health probe. So what health probe does is it passes and it actually does the health check of these nodes, right? In case if a particular frequency that node is not responding, then it will mark that node as down, right? And then after a certain frequency, it will again start checking if the node is up or not. If the node has come back, then it will mark that node as healthy, and it will again, then it will start distributing the traffic back to the node which has come up, right? So that is the job of the health row, right? Let's go back to our portal. So here we are in the portal. Let's click on the health probes, right? So what we are going to give is lb underscore health probe. Yeah. Okay, and it is going to use TCP protocol, right? And it is going to work on port 80, and here is the interval, right? So this is the amount of time between probe attempts. So it's going to check every 5 seconds, right? So it's going to check every 5 seconds if that node is up and down, right? So in case if the node for whatever reasons is down, it will and if it is not able to get the response within 2 checks, then it will mark that node as inactive, right? So, and again it's going to check the health check every 5 seconds. So as soon as that node is up and it starts responding, then it will mark that node as up, right? Okay, so we're good, and we'll click on OK, right? So it is just updating, it's creating probes, all right, and then we'll give just a few seconds, and now we can see that the probes are created, right? Great. Load balancing rules. We can create the load balancing rules by clicking on add. All right. So here we are going to give the name as load balance underscore rules. Okay, and it's going to work on IPv4. Yeah, and then we'll have to configure the front end IPs. Okay, as of now it's not configured, but yeah, I mean, we can do this configuration in detail in the next sessions. But yeah, I mean, for now that front end IP is null, and we have this TCP port and port 80. The backend port will be 80, and here we actually define The backend pool, what sort of backend pool it is going to be. So it's going to be web backend pool. All right, and then what health prep is going to use. So we have already configured the health proof. So that's the health proof that is going to use, and it's going to work on port 80. Session persistence, we are going to keep it as none. Yeah, and then we'll leave it as default, and we are click on OK. Right. So it's just it would take about few seconds before it is going to update the health pay rules. Right. Great. So the remaining things we will leave it as it is. We are not going to configure net as of now. We'll leave it as it is, and we can cross check on the properties. Nothing to configure here. Yeah, all looks good. All right. So that's all that we will configure for this session now. And now going forward, we are going to go more in details about the load balancer, and we'll see how we are going to use the load balancer in few sessions. All right, great guys. Please do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notification updates real time. And also, if you're liking these videos and if you're liking the series and if it is making a value for you, please do click on the like button. All right, great. Until next time, have a great time and keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.